Today on Larry King Now, legendary actor Sir Anthony Hopkins. Why did they decide to do The Dresser again?
So I want to do. I asked the producer, man who owned it, I said, could I do it? He said, yeah, let's see if we can get it done. And the author was very pleased to have me and Ian McHale. And last year we made one of the best times of my life. People are surprised when they see me young actors. They say, you're insecure? I say, yeah, you bet you. Your ass I am. So how can you be insecure? I said, well, that's being human. That's being alive.
Were you an overnight hit?
No, it took me years. Silence of the Lambs is the first time it really changed things. But then, you know, you got the Oscar and all that, but you wake up next morning, it's the same old fundamental stuff.
Plus, do you have any regrets?
No, don't have time to regret. We move on, because we are acceptable for what we are, not what we think we should be.
That's all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. What a great pleasure to have Sir Anthony Hopkins as our special guest, one of the greatest actors in cinematic history. For nearly 50 years, he has been delighting audiences around the world with iconic roles in such films as The Remains of the Day, Nixon, Amistad, Silence of the Lambs. The Golden Globe, BAFTA, and Oscar-winning actor's latest projects include the highly anticipated new HBO original series Westworld and The Dresser, co-starring Ian McKellen, premiering May 30th on Starz. We'll talk about a lot of projects, and because you keep being busy. You're 78 years old.
Yeah.
I'll be on the air 60 years next year.
That's fantastic.
And you've been doing it 50 years, right?
50 years.
50 years.
Yeah.
Can you remember, a little quiz, your first credited film role?
The Lion in Winter.
No.
No.
I love Lion in Winter. You were Peter O'Toole's son.
Yeah, what was the first role I ever did?
Red, White, and Zero.
I don't remember. I'll have to wear a name tag so to remember who.
Obviously, you are not a nostalgic person.
No, no.
Why did you become an actor?
Beats working. I had nothing else to do. I wasn't very good at school. And I won a scholarship in 1955 to an acting college. And so I thought, well, I may as well do something and get my revenge on all those people who made fun of me. Now they're all dead.
Did you like it right away?
Yes. Well, I thought, if I can make it in this business, it sure beats working, as Robin Mitchum used to say.
What's the kick of playing other people?
I don't know, it's just the fun of it. I don't know what it is. I just love it. It's not that I'm not a method actor. I don't go through big transformations. I just love showing up, especially in movies, showing up, having a coffee, having breakfast, going on set, knowing my lines, having fun with the crew and everyone, having a laugh. And in the theatre, where the Dresser was filmed, that wasn't a pain-free experience. That was a drudge. And unlike Sir Ian McKellen, I wasn't a good team player. I was a bit of a badass and a bit of a rebel, so I didn't fit into companies for a while. So one day I scooted off and left and came out to Hollywood. And people told me I'd sold out. I said, well, good. I'm happy living on the beach in Malibu.
So you had originally done The Dresser as a screen, had you acted it on stage?
Not on stage, no. I saw the original stage production with Freddie Jones and Tom Courtenay, and then they made the film with Albert Finney and Tom.
That's right.
Yeah, 30 years later, I decided I'd like to do it. And then Sir Ian McKellen, who we'd never worked before. I've known him over the years, but only an acquaintance across a room. So we worked together, and we had a great time. We had lots of laughs.
Why did they decide to do The Dresser again?
So I want to do. I asked the producer, man who owned it, I said, could I do it? He said, yeah, let's see if we can get it done. And the author was very pleased to have me and Ian McHale. And last year we made one of the best times of my life. 5 short weeks of really enjoying it. I think because it helped me to flex my muscles again, to feel that I hadn't sold out, that I could be a classical actor. And next year I'm going to do King Lear in London.
Oh, that's a tough play.
Yeah, but doing it on film.
You're doing it on film?
Yeah, for the BBC. And that's what I want to do. And because I'm 78, I'm going to be 79 at the end of the year. And I think I'm got to keep going. But if I retire, I die. Because you can't retire. You've got to, like you've got to keep going.
Retired or what?
Death.
The actor in The Dresser is playing King Lear, right?
That's right.
And Ian McKellen is your dresser,
He's
right?
the dresser. And there's a wonderful relationship. Two old fools have been together for years, bickering and quarrelling and shouting at each other. I'm the monster actor who lives only in his own monomaniacal mind. And they don't know I don't know. And the play actually finally is my disillusionment with my own life. Because I have a mental breakdown in this one night in the play. It's during the air raids in Britain. They're on tour. This actually happened. There's a man called Donald Wolfett, who was the great barn-stopping, single-minded actor who was a bit of a monster, but a great actor. But anyway, and Ian plays my dresser, and both cantankerous old men together. And in the end, it's tragic, because my part, called Sir, realises that his life has been pretty wasted. He's dedicated himself to acting. And I wanted to do it because I didn't want that in my life, my own life. Really? I didn't want to have that centrifugal force in my life that just acting, because I can't take it seriously. I wanted another life outside, because it's healthy. So I paint and I write music and I play.
You wrote a symphony.
Yeah, and I play the piano, and I live in Malibu. I watch the whales go by. I just like to have a full life, but I still enjoy acting.
And this will be seen on Stars.
Stars.
Television is now part of the actors' norm. Remember when actors didn't do television?
Oh yeah, we didn't do it. Shocking to do television. No, I loved it.
Is it any different than making a film?
I think it's probably harder. Well, in a way, well, I just did Westworld. And you don't get the scripts. So I never knew what the story was about. I never knew how it was. I still don't know. But it was fun to do.
Well, it's robots.
Yes, that's right.
At a Western.
Yeah, and I play the guy who invents all these people. But it was.
That was a movie with Yul Brynner.
Yul Brynner and Richard Benjamin.
Yeah.
And I would try to. I'd ask the director, Jonah Nolan. I said, "What happens next year?" I'm not going to tell you. So what my job was just to learn all the lines. Most of the time, I didn't know what I was talking about. But, you know, you have to fool people. So he'd say, this is connected to that. So I'd put on an intelligent look in my face. Oh, yeah. I didn't have a clue.
I want to talk about being a Sir. I want to talk about his latest projects. We're back with the wonderful Tony. It's hard to call him Tony when he's Sir Anthony. And look for The Dresser coming to Stars. We'll be right back. He's one of my all-time favorite people, on and off the screen. He is Sir Anthony Hopkins. He will star, along with Ian McKellen, in Sir McKellen too, Sir Ian,
yeah.
in The Dresser on Stars at the end of May. Westworld. Now that's a series, right? It's going to run for
10 episode first year, and we finished on Thursday, and it was fun to do, but tough work to do.
Why?
Well, I have masses of lines to learn. Masses. I mean, it was like learning the Encyclopedia Britannica. But that's what I do. I mean, I love learning.
Are you good?
Yeah. Well, I drive myself at it. I mean, that's my only obsession, is to get it right, because I believe, you know, it keeps the brain working.
Tell me about being a Sir. I said to you before Sir Hopkins, and you said that's wrong.
Sir Anthony, yeah.
It's always the first name, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, so it's Sir Ben or Sir Ian, Sir Anthony. I never use. I mean,
you don't use it though.
No, I mean, I used it as a musician when I had a concert in Birmingham, Sir Anthony Hopkins. But in films, you never use it. You never put it as a title.
Because?
It's tacky, and you never do it. I know it's one of those unwritten things.
How far back does it go? How long have they been sirring people?
Well, oh God, hundreds of years. But in the acting profession, the first one was Sir Henry Irving. He was the first knight, which brought respectability to the acting profession, because there were nothing but robbers and vagabonds. And Sir Henry Irving was knighted by Queen Victoria.
And when they knight you, they dub you?
Yeah.
They put the sword on the shoulder?
Right. Arise, Sir Anthony.
Remember from Quixote, I dubbed the...
Sir Anthony Hopkins, yes. I can't remember it. 20 years ago. But it was fun. It was great honour. And
the Queen?
Yeah. And she was very nice. And Buckingham Palace. And they had the Grenadier Guards playing the band. and they play Sound of Music and all those things on the... It's all very strange, and she comes in with her hand...
But it has to be a thrill.
It was, yes.
You grew up in Great Britain.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't know why they knighted me, because I'm such a badass, you know. But
what keeps you working? Why do you keep... You don't have to work, do you? Financially?
Financially? No. I just love it. I love being active. I love getting out and doing things. My wife sometimes worries about me because she's getting too old for this. And no, but she also agrees with me that if I stopped, I'd just, boom, I'd probably snuff it. Because I think it's important to keep working as long as you can, just to keep going, body and mind. And,
are you in good health?
Yeah, great health. Very great health.
And that's luck, right? Or do you work at it? Do you work?
I work at it. I work at it. I haven't smoked a cigarette for many years. Don't drink, but I love all the bad foods. I love spicy foods, but I try to stay disciplined. And you know, I relapse every so often, have a little bit of whatever pizza or something. But I more or less keep on course and make sure I'm in good shape, because you've only got one body and one life. You
write symphonies.
I write music, yeah.
Have you always done that?
Since my marriage with Stella, I've always composed, but I've never had anything played for an orchestra. So she said to me, why don't you write it and orchestrate it? So I did. I orchestrated the whole piece through a friend of mine, and she sent it to Andre Rieu, the Dutch conductor. And I was in Mexico City some years ago, 5, 6 years ago, doing publicity on a movie, and the phone rang in my hotel room. It was Andre Rieu. I said, is this a joke? He said, no, your wife sent me the manuscript, the score. Would you like me to hear our rehearsal of it this morning? So he played a recording of the rehearsal. So we went to Holland within the next couple of months, and before 8,000 people sat there in the marketplace of Maastricht, and they played my song, The Waltz Goes On. Then I did 4 or 9 pieces for the Birmingham Symphony, symphonic pieces. So,
well, how did that make you feel?
Wonderful. Sitting in there in an audience, you know, sitting on the first day of rehearsal in the Birmingham Symphony, Michael Seal conducting. And he said, okay, everything okay? And I said, yeah. And the whole orchestra starts up. I thought, did I write this? It's the same with art, you know, I paint. And then we have shows. We've got a show in Vegas in, a plug here, 23rd of June, in MGM and Bellagio. And when
selling your paintings?
Yeah. And I go there and it's all been set up. I look at them, I think, did I actually do these?
What kind of painting do you do?
Well, I do lots of faces, and you can look them up on Margam Fine Arts, M-A-R-G-A-M, A-M, Fine Arts. And they're landscapes, and they're expressionist paintings. I'll tell you a story about it, about a rule that is not a rule, but when my wife said, I want you to start painting, I said, I can't. She said, what will happen if it doesn't work? Will they put you in jail? I said, no. So I started painting. And a friend of mine, Stan Winston, do you remember Stan? He used to work with Spielberg, Jurassic Park. A brilliant artist.
Yeah, I know.
He died, sadly. But anyway, he came over to the house. We had a barbecue in my studios near the pool, and he came and wanted to use the bathroom. He came and he said, he said, who did these? And I pulled that face and said, I did. He said, why are you pulling a face like that? I said, well, are they any good? He said, they're wonderful. I said, well, I've never had any training. He said, don't train. Once you train, he said, you're finished. Don't train. Because he was trained as an artist, but he couldn't do the free painting that I do. So.
Great story.
Yeah.
Is playing in the symphony and watching the paintings the same as watching your movies? You get the same kind of feeling?
Much. I think the music is best. I try not to watch my own movies.
You don't?
No, I'll have a look at them and then that's it. Thank you.
Coming up, what has been Sir Anthony's favorite role to date? And we'll show a clip of Sir Ben Kingsley talking about our guest from when he was here just a few weeks ago. Don't go away. We're back with Sir Anthony. Tony will star with Ian McKellen in The Dresser. It premieres May 30th on Starz. You'll be seeing him in a movie with Ray Liotta called Blackway. And of course, he's in the Westworld series. Sir Ben Kingsley was here not long ago.
Oh, yeah.
You two recently did a film together. What was it like working with him?
It was terrific. We only had one scene together. Wonderful, wonderful actor.
And let me show you, and I asked him this, watch what he said. The last time you were starstruck.
Tony Hopkins, sitting opposite me at a table in a film about to come out called Collide, and I had my first scene with Sir Tony Hopkins, and it's like sitting close to a volcano.
He's tremendous.
It's wonderful. I love him.
The actor you most enjoyed working with to date?
My goodness. Wow, that's a tricky one. I think, you know, in terms of sheer excitement and the purity of his craft, I think it has to be Tony Hopkins.
Oh.
What do you make of that?
Wow, thank you, Ben.
One scene, his favorite actor you ever worked with was you.
Wow, that's a wonderful compliment. Volcano. That's pretty hard.
What do you think?
Well, I guess I've got some kind of forceful energy in me. And Ben has as well, because I saw him in Sexy Beast, and I wrote him a fan letter.
He was incredible.
And I phoned him. He should have had an Oxford for that.
That was
he does a very good impersonation of me.
Evil incarnate, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, we play a little game of If You Only Knew. What are your two favorite roles to date?
Remains of the Day, Hannibal Lecter, Nixon. There have been several, and some I would rather forget. But you get a couple out of a dozen, which may work, and some don't. But I think Lecter was one of my favourites because it was so easy.
Easy?
Yeah, dead easy. Well, it's a trick, you know.
What do you mean?
Well, the first 15 or 20 minutes is built up describing this monster, you know, and to Jodie Foster, and then she goes to the prison, and the governor of the prison she said, what's he like? Oh, he's a monster. So they go down. So it's all built up. There's this monster in a cell, in a cage somewhere. The thing is to do the opposite. Play not a monster. Just play someone who's, good morning. You're not real FBI, are you?
Clarice.
Clarice.
How did you find that voice, though?
I don't know.
What's something people don't know about you?
Oh, well, I can say that I'm always very insecure, as we all are. Oh, yeah, I do. People are surprised when they see me young actors. They say, you're insecure? I say, yeah, you bet you. Your ass I am. I said, how can you be insecure? I said, well, that's being human. That's being alive. That's
Henry Fonda said, I always feel nervous when I don't have a script.
Yeah, because you always want to be in work.
Yeah. The leading lady you most enjoyed working with?
Oh, God, I can't remember. We put Jodie Foster.
If you were an actor, what do you think you'd have done?
Drunk myself to death, probably. Ended up in the gutter.
Do you have a favorite curse word? Okay. Something.
My favorite gesture?
What is something Americans get wrong about the UK?
I think they think we are very ever so gentle and mild and moderate. We're not. We are monsters. The British Empire was run on monstrous energy and rage.
And they were tough. When
tough
they
people.
ran a country, they were
very tough. Oh, yeah.
What does the UK get wrong about America?
Oh, the feeling that America's brash and it's noisy and this, that, and the other. Well, it is all those things, but that's what makes America what it is. And I think we countries, we nations, whether it's America or Britain, we get it wrong about so many other nations. Everyone's in Russia, the bad. You know, we get it all so wrong.
They're people.
They're people, yeah.
Actor or actress you'd like to work with that you haven't?
Love to work with De Niro. Yeah, I'd like to work with him.
Any upcoming actor or actress that impresses you?
Oh, God. Do you know, I don't watch much film. I'm ashamed to say no. I don't have time.
I'm told you also don't have actors as friends.
That's right.
Why?
Well, they're actors, they're okay. I love working with them. But I'm a recluse. I don't have any friends, really. All my friends are my wife's friends, all these Spanish women. I get more from them than anything else. I'm not an unfriendly person. I enjoy people. But I'm not a great mixer. I love being on my own. I love being a recluse. I'm not a recluse, but I love being on my own.
You don't have great buddies?
No, never have.
Don't go on fishing trips with the guys?
No.
What's the best thing about living in L.A.?
The sunshine, Nathan Owls. I love to travel. I love to drive around. I love everything about it.
What don't you like?
I love everything.
What's your most cherished memory?
Coming here in 1973, I was working on a film with Goldie Hawn, and I was taken on the first Sunday to the Bel Air Hotel. I'd never been there before. I thought I was in Paris, and I thought, I've got to stay, I've got to live here in this country, in LA. And those are my favorite memories. And the 70s, they were great. Things were a little more peaceful here then. And everything about it, everything. It was like being in Playland. It's like being in a big beach party.
Were you an overnight hit?
No, it took me years. Silence of the Lambs was the first time it really changed things. But then, you got the Oscar and all that, but you wake up next morning, it's the same old fundamental stuff.
Did you have to audition for Silence?
No, Jonathan Demme phoned my agent and asked me if I would be interested in playing the part. I was in London at the time, and I thought it was a children's story, The Silence of the Lambs. So I said to my agent, they sent me the script. He said, what do you think? I said, I don't want to read all of it. And is it a deal? He said, well, not yet. I said, I'm not going to read anymore because I've read this part, is the great part. So he phoned me back. He said, it is a deal. Jonathan Demme's flying into London tomorrow to see you. We met. And I said, why did you cast me? He said, because I saw you in The Elephant Man, playing Dr. Treves. I said, but he was such a good man. He said, there's something in Lecter that is good, but basically mad. I thought, got it.
Next, we'll wrap things up with some viewer questions for Sir Anthony, and he's going to ask me a question.
Okay.
Stay with us. We're back with Anthony Hopkins. Tony stars with Ian McKellen in The Dresser on Stars. It premieres May 30th. It was a great play. It was a great film, and now another great film with you.
Thank you.
Before we get some questions from social media, how does your choice picking work? What do you look for when you get a script?
I always look to see if I'm on the last page, because I know it's a good part. No, I just look for the content of the... I don't know, really.
Do you have to be the star?
No, not at all. It'd be nice to be. No. It's just an instinct to have about it. Sometimes I'll say no.
Ever regretted anything?
Oh, yeah. Can't remember any of them now. I've erased them from my memory. But I don't... the one thing I try to do, what I do, I think successfully, is to not take myself too seriously. Because I like to... I just enjoy the process of being alive, and that they actually pay me to do what I do, and having fun with it. I can't take it seriously. I mean, I was on stage, years ago, before I finally left and sold out to Hollywood. I was on stage doing King Lear. And I remember going on stage that night and thinking, what am I doing? I'm 37 years of age. How am I pretending to be 80 years of age? Now I am almost there, with the beard and all that. I thought, this is ridiculous. And I made up my mind then I'm going to start leaving this business because I can't do this. Even today I go on set and I think, what am I doing here? But I enjoy it, and they pay me to do it. So my thing is to not take it too seriously.
How did you enjoy working with Brad Pitt in Joe Black? I love that movie.
Yeah, he was wonderful.
The critics were rough on it.
I know. I didn't know why, but he was wonderful to work with.
What about ageism in Hollywood? You still see scripts.
Yeah.
Not many people over 75, do they get scripts?
I don't know. But all I know is, without becoming, humble as pie, but I do appreciate it, and I'm very grateful, because I know what a tough business this is, and I know a lot of young actors or guys who would be actors trying to break into the business, and they have all my sympathy. I'll do whatever I can to help, but it's a tough, relentless business. For me to be around today is astonishing. I look in the mirror and think, they still want you? I think, yeah, my agent says they still want you, dude. So I think, well, that's wonderful. You have to keep a spirit of gratitude, I guess, and yeah.
Social media questions. Zella on the Larry King Now blog. I love your piece, And the Waltz Goes On. Will you be putting on more? Will you be putting out more?
Maybe next year. Maybe next year.
Lynn on Facebook. What was it like to work with Burgess Meredith and Richard Attenborough in Magic?
Oh, that was a long time ago, 30 years ago. Was it 30? Almost 40 years ago. That was a long memory. Burgess was terrific to both. He was an irascible old guy. And he said, "Okay, that's not again. Come on, yes, sir." And he would fight. You know, he was pugnacious, but he was wonderful.
And Attenborough?
He was great director to work with. We became good friends. I think we did 5 films together. Obviously, great sense of humour. Loved everyone. Yeah.
Jen on the Larry King Now blog. Can you share your acting experience while doing Nixon, particularly when working with Paul Sorvino?
Gee, it's a long time ago. Paul Sorvino. He played
Kissinger, I think.
Kissinger, yeah, he was okay. Good. I liked Oliver Stone very much. Oliver Stone, James Woods, E.T. Walsh.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember the cast now. Yeah, a long time ago.
You had to throw away your accent, though, right?
Yeah, I don't know how I did. I remember James Woods saying after the first reading, I'm playing an American president, and Jimmy Woods said at the end of the first reading, we broke for lunch, he said, "Great German accent." He's a mischief maker, but Oliver's great to work with.
Man Deep on Facebook. After being in Silence of the Lambs, this is an interesting question. Do you think we all have an inner Hannibal?
Ask a psychiatrist, I don't know.
Maher Sadie on the Larry King Now blog. Out of all the roles you played as an actor, which one was the most challenging and the one who most matched your personality?
Well, Nixon was pretty challenging. Oliver Stone told me something interesting when he phoned me. He said, "I want you to play Nixon." I said, "You crazy?" He said, "No." He said, "I want you." "Why would you want me to play it?" He said, "Because," he said, "I'd read pieces and articles about you." He said, "You and Nixon fit in because you're both paranoid and insecure." I said, "How did you know?" He said, "I've read pieces about you in the papers, interviews." I said, "Well, that's probably true. I don't think I'm paranoid, but I was certainly very insecure." And I remember taking on Nixon to spite Oliver Stone and myself, to kill my demons. I thought I can either hang around in London doing respectable parts of the BBC or work for this crazy director, Oliver Stone, and risk falling my backside. And I did it, and I thought, just go for it, just be bold. And Oliver was great to work with.
I knew Nixon, interviewed Nixon
You did?
quite a few times, spent some time with him, and you had him down.
Thank you.
And he was paranoid, though.
Yeah, he was a strange man. I wish I'd met him.
At Jackson Aura on Twitter, do you have any regrets?
No, don't have time to regret. We move on, because we are acceptable for what we are, not what we think we should be. I'm accepted in myself by what I am, but not as I think I should be, because that's a lie. I'm a sinner. I'm an old sinner. I've done some bad things. I've done some good things. So, you just forgive yourself and move on.
In Joe Black, you played a man knowing he was going to die.
That's right.
Do you think about death?
Yeah, all the time, really. But I don't dwell on it in a morbid way. I'm resigned. No, I'm accepting that I've reached an age now that, could be any time. I hope I have many, many years to go. But I'm not scared of it. I'm not... This is all... To me, it's a dream within a dream, to quote Edgar Allan Poe. It's all a dream within a dream. My favourite quote is, "They are not long the days of wine and roses. Out of a misty dream, our path emerges for a while, then closes within a dream."
Pretty good. I just can't believe I'm not going to exist.
Well, we don't know, do we?
So I'm too curious.
Yeah. We are absorbed back into the elements, I guess.
What do you think happens?
I don't know. I think there's a superior consciousness in all of us that we touch into sometimes. I don't know if I believe in anything. I mean, I'm a deity, but I believe whatever that thing is that we talk about for centuries, I think it's just within us. I mean, remarkable things have happened in my life by just wishing or asking for something, for a bit of help. Yes, and I don't believe. I'm an agnostic, I guess. Is there any way you can help me or whatever? And there's something inside us that will respond, I believe. I really believe that. We have to make our lives, because life is tough. We have to believe in the power of life.
Asked Billy Graham if he was afraid of dying, and he said, "I just don't want to die badly. I don't want to die in a plane crash."
No. So Woody Allen said, "I just don't want to be with him when it happens."
Just want to be there when it happens. Do you have any question you want to ask me?
You still go to Nathan Al's?
Yes.
Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
I'll see you there one Saturday morning.
You better come.
I better come. Larry, thank you. It was great to
Tony,
see
you're
you.
the best.
Thank you.
He is the best.
Thank you.
The Dresser, co-starring Ian McKellen, premieres May 30th on Stars. Our guest has been the great Anthony Hopkins. Blackway will be in theaters June 10th. Our guest has been Anthony Hopkins. We'll see you on another edition of Larry King Now. Don't leave us.